The United Nations Deputy Spokesperson said the Secretary General is concerned about the living condition of Niger's toppled President Mohamed Bazoum and his family as reported. Now, Farhan Haq said Mr. Bazoum and his family continue to breathe in detained by members of the Presidential Guard in Niger. The UN Secretary General has reiterated his call for the immediate and unconditional release of President Bazoum and his reinstatement as the President of Niger. Meanwhile, CNN reported that Bazoum was being kept isolated and forced to eat dry rice and pasta by the military who overthrew him in a coup late this month. Details of that in this report.
The United Nations chief has expressed grave concern over what he described the deplorable conditions of Niger leader Mohamed Bazoum's detainment and calls for his release. Reports have it that in a series of text messages Bazoum sent to a friend, the president said he had been deprived of all human contact since Friday, with no one supplying him food or medicine. Speaking to reporters on Thursday, the UN Deputy Spokesperson Farhan Haq said the UN is aware of recent reports that President Mohamed Bazoum and his family are living without electricity, water, food or medicine.
The Secretary General reiterates his concern over the health and safety of the President and his family, and once again calls for his immediate, unconditional release and his reinstatement as head of state. The Secretary General is also alarmed over continuing reports about the arrest of several members of the government. He urgently calls for their unconditional release and for the strict adherence to Niger's international human rights obligations.
On the humanitarian front, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said that aid operations continue. According to the UN, this week, the World Food Programme assisted more than 12,000 people with food in the Maradi region.
The government and humanitarian organizations are ramping up efforts to support affected people. Humanitarian partners are struggling with low stocks of supplies due to the impact of closures of the border and the airspace. This situation may affect food assistance for 2.8 million people in the coming months.
Bazoum was ousted on July 26 in a military coup led by General Abdurrahman Tiani, the former commander of Niger's Presidential Guard, who has declared himself the head of a transitional government. Since then, Bazoum has reportedly been held hostage at the presidential palace in the capital, Niamey. Reports have it that President Bazoum and his family are being detained under cruel and inhuman conditions without access to running water, electricity, fresh goods or doctors. The junta has vowed that it will not bow to pressure to cede power as demanded by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.